Hi, how you doing? And welcome back to another video from Average FPL. Today we're just going to review Game Week 22, how we did, mistakes that I made, or decisions that didn't go my way. And then we're going to preview Game Week 23, what I'm planning on doing with my transfers, and my thoughts on the game week in general moving forward. So yeah, a okay game week to be honest. Was kind of saved by the fixtures midweek, Tuesday and Wednesday in terms of the players that scored for me. But my overall rank for the game week was just inside 3 million. So not great, but not awful for my sort of standard. And then we've just got the overall standings there. So it was a green arrow, and I went up again. I think I only went up about 40,000 places in the end. But green arrow's a green arrow. Hoping to crack that top million mark soon. Um, and the points were above average for the game week as well, so you can't complain too much there, especially with games getting called off, left, right, and centre. I think if you're able to get a green arrow in these times, then you just take it, don't you, and you move forward. So the team was there from the game week. I was a bit gutted really because on my previous video I said, should I get Madison? Should I get Fernandez? Decided to go with Madison, who did score and got 8 points. But Fernandez got 2 goals and 2 assists in 2 games. And when I got Madison in, he had a double game week. So I was thinking, if um I knew that he wasn't going to have a double game week at the time of transfer, I would definitely have got Fernandez in, and I probably would have captained Fernandez as well. So he got 22 points, did Fernandez, which would have been 44 points, and a point difference of mid 30s. And it's really just take it on the chin, to be honest, because that's only in effect because that happened after I made the decision. So it's really easy to look back and say, "Oh, I should have done this, should have done that." But I could have, I could easily have got Fernandez in and then him have a game cancelled and Madison get 22 points. It's just how it is, and it's easy to be critical after it's happened. Kind of got away with it as well because I only had 9 players playing. So Dyer didn't play. Smith Rowe's game got cancelled. So all the defenders that did play got points. Liverpool clean sheet, Man City clean sheet. All the midfielders, well, 2 midfielders returned. The captain Mount, that was obviously a bad decision in hindsight because he started on the bench in the first game against Man City and then didn't do anything in the second game either. So we got 3 points total, double it for 6. Antonio got an assist and Kane returned as well. So yeah, if I'd have got Fernandez in and then captain someone different, pretty much literally anyone else in my squad other than Mount, I would have increased my point tally. Captaincy is super important in fantasy league, and I think if you get it right consistently, it has such an impact on your scores as well. So bit of an error in this game week looking back, but at the time, Mount was one of the only ones with a double game week still, and you would captain the double game week player, so it made sense, and I'd probably do it again. Really, if you've got players that have double game weeks, you know, you're better off captaining them than someone who has a single game week. So yeah, looking at the fixtures this game for the next game week 23. Um, we have Watford versus Norwich on a Friday night. Not exactly a big hitting fixture, but if you've got, Dennis, Pookie, King, you are looking at that fixture and thinking, oh, should I captain that player? And for either of those, you could say yes. There's no double game weeks this week, so you do run the risk as well of if your game is cancelled, then that your player's not going to play. So it is a good time of year to get a good bench and to vice captain somebody different than your captain, in the sense of you don't want both your captain and vice playing for the same team, because if that game is postponed, you would lose all chance of captaincy points. So you really just want to captain, solid players from good teams, and if you can get 2 of those, then you're doing well. So, someone like Pookie or Dennis might be a good vice captaincy option this week. You might not want to put um, all your eggs in that basket, but in terms of a backup, there could definitely be worse options. Uh, fixtures evenly spread throughout the weekend. I would say, apart from the obvious captaincy options, really, now you're looking at African Cup of Nations and Son being out, it does, widen the captaincy um, sort of criteria that you'd be looking for. So you've potentially got Man United at home to West Ham, or West Ham away at Man United. If you've got Antonio, you might think West Ham could score. You're looking at Bruno in good form at the moment. He'd be your main captaincy option from Man United. You would stay away from players like Ronaldo at the moment. Man City, if you're feeling confident and you think you can predict who's going to start, I think that's a good fixture for them away at Southampton. That's the sort of game they could score four in. Um, and other than that, I'd be tempted to maybe captain, Madison again, give that a go. Chelsea Spurs, they could cancel each other out. So it is that sort of game week where you could risk captaining somebody that maybe isn't playing for a big team. You've got big hitters missing across the board, whether it's an international duty or injury. And you've got, Man United, West Ham playing each other, Chelsea Spurs playing each other. Um, maybe somebody like Jota might be a good captaincy option as well, or Lacazette for Arsenal at home to Burnley. I think if you have got, Lacazette in for Arsenal, or maybe a Smith Rowe, Odegaard, Saka. But then again, they've been rotating as well. So it is hard to pinpoint a single captain down. It's like looking at Leeds Newcastle last week. Jack Harrison scored a hat trick. It is the sort of game week where someone like that could happen. Obviously, predicting that is horrendously difficult, and you shouldn't be expected to nail your captaincy in a week like this. But do your research on your team, look at the fixtures, spread the captain and vice captain out across two different teams, and you increase your chances. So looking at my team for this week, I've actually got one transfer. I'm not planning on using it. I know Eric Dyer's out for a while. I know Smith Rowe's got a flag on him. But I am leaning towards just letting it roll. The captaincy is on Mount. I'm probably going to move that onto Madison and probably vice captain Pookie or the other way around. It is the sort of opportunity where you could captain Trent Alexander-Arnold. I think this is a good game week for that. If you captain him and he gets a clean sheet, well, that's 12 points already. You know, that's kind of a good return rate, I think, where there's not lots of good options moving forward for this game week. Um, a lot of away fixtures, especially in defence and attack, but they can still score. I'm a bit wary of some of my players playing each other. You've got Kane versus Mount. You've got Man United versus West Ham. The West Ham boys have to travel to Man United. I'm not too sure of how it's going to go. I think the key will be defensively. If Edison and Liverpool can get clean sheets, then that, like the previous game week, is a good basis moving forward. Um, and yeah, so let me know what you think. If you think I should, um, you know, make my transfer now, maybe swap Dyer out for somebody. I think it is important to note that I do actually have 5 million in the bank. So I could kind of get anybody. That's what allowed me the flexibility between Madison and Fernandez last week. So I could do that, but then having used that money, it then means that I have to then make a couple of moves to maybe get in, Salah in the future when he's back. And there's not loads of big hitters available. I've got Kane. Outside of that, you're struggling for consistently performing high, highly owned, valuable players. So you're really looking for the bargains at the moment. So if you have got money in the bank, you don't necessarily need to spend it. If you're not sure what to do, don't force transfers through. The game weeks are coming thick and fast. Games are getting cancelled. So having flexibility with transfers is really beneficial moving forward. Um, so yeah, that's where I'm thinking at the moment. So probably flipping captaincy between Madison and Pookie. But let me know if you think my strategy is good. Let me know if you think I should change it, or maybe I need to change the captaincy or get a bit more cover on the bench. Um, if for the short term, and let me know if you guys need any help or advice with your team. Always interested to see if anyone comments in this comment section. The thoughts or questions. is, really like sort of thinking about other teams as well. Takes my mind off my team and usually how terrible it's doing. So yeah, thank you very much for listening. Good luck in your game weeks, and I'll see you in the next one.